Right, measuring blood pressure. Be careful what else you say. We're recording now. All right. In order to measure blood pressure, we need two devices. What do we need to measure blood pressure? If you got one of those fancy machines, you don't really need anything but that one.
Little cuff thing. What's it called?
Yep. It's got that huge, terrible name. I'm going to put that number 2 on here. Then we need to be able to listen with something. What do we listen to with? Stethoscope. I looked this. Oh my gosh, I already misspelled it. Stethoscope. I had to look that up earlier today because I thought it was scope, but it's o-scope. Stethoscope. Okay. And the next one is one I should have probably looked up the spelling of. Sphygmomanometer.
Sounds like a monster.
Does. Blood pressure cuff. Sphygmomanometer. Do 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 do. Manometer. Do 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 do. All right. Have to have those two devices to get the job done. And you need to be equipped with this piece of information. That smooth flowing blood makes smooth flowing blood makes
No sound.
exactly. See what I did there? Smooth flowing blood makes no sound. So if I took a stethoscope and pressed it up to my carotid artery, it would sound exactly like this. There would be no sound. That's what I'm driving at, okay? Now, blood that meets with resistance. Oh, great. Is it ants or ents? Ents? E-N-C-E? Is what you're feeling?
I'm pretty sure it's ants. A-N-C. I'm pretty sure it's A.
Brett, it's ants? Okay, all right.
Good job, Crib.
I don't think it really.
Somebody's going to hit stop on the video and pick a different one now. Blood that meets with resistance begins to make a sound. And that we're going to manipulate. Thump. A thump sound. We're going to use this piece of information to gather all the information we need about blood pressure. Somebody was really smart when they figured this out. They figured out. Could have been as well. But either way, it's impressive. Okay, so do this with your hands. This is the opening of your brachial artery most of the time right now. I do this little. I'm sorry, don't make that sound. There we go, perfect. Yeah, no sound. Now we're going to put the blood pressure cuff on, okay? And start pumping it up. Okay? When you fill up the blood pressure cuff, what you do is you close off your arteries entirely in that area. All the arteries, all the veins, completely closed off. It's a lot like a tourniquet. Tourniquets are used if someone's bleeding to death. You know, they take like a belt or a strong cloth and they tie a knot so that it clamps off the blood vessel so you stop losing blood, stop hemorrhaging from that thing. But that's what a sphygmomanometer is a fancy tourniquet with a gauge on it. But we're going to be able to use that to our benefit. So let's write down these steps. Steps to taking a blood pressure reading.
Can you move that a little bit?
Yeah, am I on the line? Oh, there we go. First, the patient is seated. I will also tell you that this takes time to learn. If you really want to be good at this and do a good job at it, you'll need to do it hundreds of times and fail about 70 of those times. Failure is a part of the learning process. But for our purposes, I'm going to tell you how it's done, but because this is not a nursing class, we're not going to try to perfect the craft of it. I'll give you an opportunity to try to explore with it, though. Okay, so we're going to place the cuff on patient's upper arm at the break of elbow. Okay, so you can't see my arm right there. That's not helpful because you can't see any markers. There's my elbow. There's my arm hair. Right up there. Where's it going to go? Break of elbow. Then we're going to close the valve, if you haven't already done so. Close the valve. Righty, tighty. Okay. And inflate cuff to 160. What were the units again?
Mercury something.
Uh-huh.
Millimeters of mercury.
Millimeters of mercury. Good. 160 should do the job for most applications. There's a few that people have high blood pressure higher than that. You need to take it up a little more, but 160 should do it for most people. All right. Then we're going to place the bell of the stethoscope, which the bell is the little listening thing that we're using. Place the bell of the stethoscope below cuff at break of elbow anterior. Okay, so front side distal to the cuff. Okay, and here's right there, break of the elbow, right about here. Okay, we're gonna try to find, in some place it on right at the joint there. We're listening for the brachial artery right before it splits into the radial and ulnar. That's ideal. We won't hear it yet, though. Why would we not hear it here?
Because the vein is closed off?
Yeah, we've closed off the artery that we're going to listen to by pumping it up all the way to 160. Okay, now.
That might slowly release it.
What's that?
They let it go slowly.
Uh-huh. They let it go slowly so that we can get the readings. Now we've got everything we need set up for what we're actually looking for. So here we go. Slowly release pressure. Slowly release the pressure. And listen. You're going to hear nothing. 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 Thump, 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 thump. So it's going to go from nothing to something. You need to pay attention to when that occurs. The needle might jump on the thing, but don't go by the jumping needle. You have to pay attention to what you hear. Okay. Note the pressure on the gauge at the first sound. Of the pulse. This is the what? What number?
This is the, I don't know.
Starts with an S. Why? Systolic pressure. This is why this system, that pressure's a little rough there. This is the systolic pressure. This is why this system is so brilliant. We're filling this cuff up with pressure, and it's putting that quantity of pressure on all of the contents inside, namely your muscles, your blood vessels, and it closes off those blood vessels. The moment that there's enough pressure inside of your blood vessel to open itself, it will, okay? And as soon as there's enough pressure in the blood vessel to open itself, when the blood pressure cuff has dropped down to the point where this blood vessel can open back up, it's going to. Now note, it's not all the way open like that. It's still compressed slightly, okay? And turbulent blood makes a sound. So as long as we're applying pressure against that vessel, we're going to be able to hear the sound. So we're going to continue to release the pressure. And listen. For what?
Make a sound.
Yes. The last pulse sound. This measurement is the what? The diastolic pressure. What that means is this. Once the pressure inside of the blood vessel has exceeded the pressure in the cuff, it's no longer flowing turbulently. There is no resistance against it. Therefore, it's not struggling to do what it's doing. As a result, it doesn't make any sounds. So you will only hear sounds at values beginning with the systolic pressure and ending with the diastolic pressure. Below that, you won't hear it because it's not flowing turbulently. Above that, you won't hear it because the blood vessel's closed off.
Like Missouri holiday gift.
Oh, all right. Thank you. Yay.
But they were all in the box.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas to me. Okay. Any questions about this?